What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring to all of you this evening. So what we're going to be covering in this update is, again, a little bit of the technicals on the longer time frames to see where is AMC looking technically going into the next few weeks. Now, in addition to this, we do have some really awesome news about the box office numbers and a record that was just broken. Now, I know a lot of people are pretty disappointed about seeing these box office records and then not seeing them reflected in the price action the next day. And something that I always say, and I've been saying this for a while, is we are going to have to wait for these box office numbers to eventually get reflected in AMC's earnings. Now, kind of stemming off of that, well, we haven't really seen big earnings moves in the past, but if you continue to see record after record after record, you continue to see the average number or average amount of money that people are spending in AMC theaters go up, eventually these numbers are going to be reflected in the share price. It just takes time, which we have been saying for a while now. We're also going to briefly touch upon Max Payne, but we're seeing some really interesting things happening with AMC short interest data right now. As it appears right now, there's a pretty significant share recall going on. I did say that we were going to wait and see what happens in the first couple of days this week to kind of see what is actually going on with the shares on loan. Now, in addition to this, we are also showing 475% average cost to borrow at this time. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So today, AMC down 4.8%. Closed the day at $12.88. We've been kind of seeing AMC hang around this $12.50 range. And when we come over and take a look at AMC on this longer time frame here, the 4-hour, well, we are headed for that 4-hour cross down here. The RSI below 50, signaling that we could be going into a bearish trend. We have the MACD showing momentum to the downside and the shaft trend as well. Now, this is not me coming in here and saying, oh my God, AMC's over, it's going to zero. I'm just giving you guys a realistic expectation of what the technicals are looking like. Is it possible that we just randomly see a spike up in AMC share price and we start moving back towards this 200 EMA right here? Yes, absolutely. The stock is very, very, very volatile, and we could see pretty much anything happen at any given time, but this is what the technicals are looking like. Once we get above this 200 EMA here and start to consolidate, we could be in a really, really good spot. Now, if you guys do want to learn a little bit more about this strategy, we just came out with a very interesting back test today on one of our algorithms, Trader Joe. He's absolutely killing it right now, and the back test numbers came out really, really awesome. We also have over 55 private live streams a month. We have real-time options data on the alerts. We have the alerts for you guys as well on over 450 stocks in 55 private live streams every single month. Now, if you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys check out that link down below. Now, coming over and taking a look at these box office numbers over here, we're sitting at about 3.88 billion total gross for the year of 2022. Very solid. But when we come over to this article right here and take a look at, well, exactly what's going on, well, Minions, The Rise of Gru breaks July 4th weekend box office record, 2022 right here with 125 million. Transformers back in 2011, 116 million. Spider-Man 2, 2004, 116 million. Despicable Me 3 in 2017, we had about 99 million. So we had a very significant beat on these box office numbers right here, which is a very, very good sign to see. Now, going into AMC's Max Payne for the data going into the end of this week here, we're sitting at 13 still. Again, I don't really put too much stress on AMC's Max Payne. I personally don't see it as being that important. We do kind of hover around there, but we typically don't see it get pinned exactly at Max Payne every single week, like some people may think we do. We usually finish around it. And finishing around Max Payne is like the market makers getting an A+ versus an A- on a test. Does it really change all that much? Not really. The market makers are still facilitating a lot of these trades when they have to and making money on selling a lot of these options, puts and calls, so either side. Now, I really want to get into this situation that we're seeing right here with AMC's Ortex data and the data that we are being provided as retail investors. So again, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys engage with the video. Hit that like button down below if you guys have not already. So coming over to the data here, the first thing that we need to look at is estimated short interest as a percentage of the free float. It's fallen pretty significantly over the last couple of days. Now, when the exchange reported short interest data came out a couple of days ago, well, we saw that Ortex was slightly overestimating this data here, but not enough to bring the short interest from 22% to 17.69. So something a little bit interesting is going on here, and that leads us over here to what is going on with the shares on loan. Now, we have 186 million shares on loan as of 7 days ago, and we are currently sitting at about 145 million shares on loan. So what this is signifying to us is a lot of shares are being returned. Now, we're not really seeing this reflected in the price action here, so it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense that there was actual covering going on, and we're not seeing that injection of buying pressure coming back into the stock. So what I would kind of speculate is going on here is we're seeing these recalls, but within Ortex's system here, we're seeing them use shares on loan in the calculation to estimate what the short interest actually is. Now, if the shares on loan number is relatively accurate and you're seeing a significant recall and a lot of shares are getting returned without shorts covering, and shares on loan is in the calculation to calculate this estimated short interest, well, then estimated short interest is going to fall, but it doesn't actually change the amount of short interest that is actually out there in the overall market. Could we be seeing small amounts of shorts covering? Yeah. On any given day, we could be seeing some shorts get out of their position, supplying some of that buying pressure that we see, but definitely not enough to drop it from 22% all the way down to 17%. Now, one of the theses that I've been kind of putting out there as to why we are seeing these forced share recalls potentially firing off across the board, it has to do with cost to borrow. So remember, 3 months ago on AMC, the cost to borrow was like between 1 and 3%. Right now, with what we're seeing here, the average is 16.47. So when we're looking at that average cost to borrow there, and even the minimum here at 4.72, if the previous cost to borrow was around 1, these lending institutions are going to want to loan out these shares at a higher rate. Remember, the prime brokers, Goldman Sachs, is in the business of making money, and securities lending is one of the biggest sources of their revenue. So when they see that they've loaned out shares, potentially locking in cost to borrow rates at 1%, but now even the minimum is at 4.72, the average is 16, well, that's a lot of revenue that they're missing out on, not only every single day, every week, every month, every quarter, and every single year. So they recall the shares, and then they loan them back out at a higher rate. But what's kind of supporting this right here is this random spike to 475% cost to borrow on the max for AMC right now. Now, could this be a glitch? Yeah, it could be. There could be something going on in the background. That's like 1 share, 2 shares got loaned out at 475%. But at the same time, when you see these numbers kind of fly in across the board with a lot of very, very strange things happening, shares on loan significantly decreasing and cost to borrow max going up, which honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Something is going on here that we are not necessarily seeing. What we definitely know for sure, and I think the main takeaway of this is that shares on loan being used in the estimated short interest calculation here. And that's why we're seeing the short interest decrease, because if you're not seeing it reflected in the actual stock price or the buying pressure coming in, it would make no sense for the short interest to decrease by this much and not see any increase in the overall price. So that is essentially going to wrap up this update on AMC for you guys. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I will see you guys in the next video.